What is going on, everyone? Sharp Ice here, welcoming you back to another The Last of Us Part 1 on the PS5 collectible guide. From the previous chapter, Bill's Town, we've collected 11 artifacts, 3 Firefly Pendants, 1 training manual, 1 workbench, 3 Shiv Doors and safes, and 5 optional conversations. Unfortunately, they didn't list the tool upgrade that you collected as well. That is also a collectible because it allows you to further upgrade your gun, but it also counts towards the trophy and collectibles as well. So just bear that in mind for those taking your notes. Okay. Now, the next chapter we're going to dive into, guys, is going to be Pittsburgh. Me personally, I feel like this is the longest chapter in the game by far. When I recorded this video, it took me 3 hours, but by me shaving down and doing my editing, I was able to get it down to roughly about 40 minutes. So even still, just for doing the collectibles, it is a still long video. So just bear that in mind. So guys, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So the next artifact, or actually the first artifact for this chapter here, is actually going to be inside your backpack. You remember from the previous chapter in Bill's Town, he gave you the siphon hose for the gasoline. So go ahead and open up your backpack here, and the siphon hose is going to be right here. So what I would do is just go ahead and press X and inspect it, and that's going to be your first artifact for this chapter here.
All right, I got it.
Okay, so now when Joel and Ellie go through the shutter door here, there's quite a few collectibles in this immediate area here. So what I would do is go ahead and approach Ellie so that way we can knock out the optional conversation.
Fucking hunters. See, this could have been us.
Man, that is a lot of people that didn't make it.
I knew I should have turned the damn truck around.
We lived.
Barely. Come on, let's get out of here.
Now the second collectible is actually going to be on the right side. It's just going to be an artifact sitting right here on the table. Go ahead and pick that up. And that'll be your next artifact. And immediately after inspecting that, go ahead and make a pretty much like a 180. And here's going to be the second tool upgrade. So after you collect that second tool upgrade, go ahead and make your way up the stairs. So the next artifact is actually going to be another training manual.
What did you know
Know what?
about the ambush?
I've been on both sides.
So keep going up the stairs and then proceed through this door here.
So,
And in this hall, make a right, continue into this room here. And the training manual is actually going to be on this mattress right here.
Take it however you want.
Now this training manual is actually going to be for splinting, which is going to be for your health. And as you can see, it will allow you to become 33% stronger. Following after that, go ahead and leave the room. Go into this door here, as we have 2 collectibles that we can pick up. The first one is actually going to be the map right here on the wall. Once you've collected the map, make an immediate left, and there is our workbench. And just like before, upgrade your gun as you see fit. But once you're done with here, we can go ahead and proceed to the next collectible. So after they spot the bridge from the top of the little balcony up there, go ahead and drop down. So we're going to have a couple collectibles here. So what you want to do is go ahead and head into the school bus here, because this is actually going to be one of the comic books that you pick up for Ellie. And this is actually going to unlock the trophy, Savage Starlight Fan.
Oh, good. Something else you can drive me crazy with.
So immediately after picking up the comic book for Ellie, go ahead and exit out the school bus and head over to the side and head over to where she's standing at, as this is going to trigger another optional
What happened
conversation.
here? Your fellow hunters do this?
Cute. And no, my money's on the military.
Why would they mow down all these people?
You can't let everyone in.
So they killed them?
And dead people don't get infected. You sacrifice the few to save the many.
It's kind of shitty.
So after you dispose of the 3 guys that come from top of the bus here, you can actually let them go, and if you hide, they'll definitely walk past where you came from and you wouldn't even have to deal with them. But if you choose to dispose of them, again, that's your preference. But come to this spot here, and we're gonna have to wait here for quite a bit because Ellie is actually gonna begin telling her jokes, and this is actually gonna be the first of Ellie's jokes in this very spot here. So if it takes a minute, bear with it, but she is gonna come to this area here, and when she does, she'll begin telling you the jokes. And of course, I mean, who doesn't love a good pun, right? You just keep waiting for her to go around, and eventually she'll make her way towards you.
Okay.
And here we go.
To lighten the mood. Ready? It doesn't matter how much you push the envelope, it'll still be stationary.
Just walk up to her and then press triangle, and then they'll begin the banter back and forth with the jokes.
What is that?
It's a joke book. No pun intended. Volume 2 by Will Livingston.
Let's keep going.
What did the Confederate soldiers use to eat off of? Civilware.
Uh-huh.
What did they use to drink with? Cups. Dixie cups. I walked into my sister's room and tripped on a bra. It was a booby trap. A book just fell on my head. I only have myself to blame. Or wait, I said it wrong. Hold on, let me read it again. A book just fell on my head. I only have my shelf to blame. I ruined it. What is the leading cause of divorce in long-term marriages? A stalemate.
That's awful.
You're awful.
Do you even understand what that means?
Nope. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'm all joked out.
So once Ellie finishes telling her pun jokes, go ahead and climb on top of the bus here. Drop down. And this is going to trigger another optional conversation, but we're going to have to wait for Ellie to come down, and she's going to look at the writing on the walls here. So
zones look like.
just go ahead and just wait after they converse, and that'll trigger the next optional conversation. So now that she spots the writing on the wall, go ahead and approach her, and then just press triangle, and then that'll unlock the conversation.
Why wouldn't they give them their food?
Sometimes they ran out. Most times they just held on to it.
That never happened in Boston.
Trust me, it happened all the time.
Immediately following the conversation, go ahead and head over these sandbags here. And inside this little booth here, on the floor right here, is going to be the next artifact. So immediately after coming through this little gate here, go ahead and proceed straight into this checkpoint here. And right around the corner from these little containers, or the big containers rather, go ahead and pick up the next artifact. Looks like a poster, executed poster. Once you collected that, go ahead and keep proceeding down to the alleyway. Just want to be careful in this area here because there's going to be a bunch of guys inside, so you want to be very, very careful. So what I would recommend is just crouch all the way to the end of this alleyway here, because the next collectible that we're looking for here is going to be the Firefly Pendant, and it's going to be right here. ahead and pick it up and we'll proceed on. Now, this next step is purely optional, but what I would recommend first is go ahead and clear out the first floor. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, this area is crawling with a bunch of guys. So clear out the first floor. Then you can go ahead and pick up the collectibles on the first floor. Then go upstairs, try to systematically take them out, excuse me, one at a time. And then that way you can go ahead and get the rest of the collectibles. But once you clear out the guys in the first floor, if you choose to do it this way, go ahead and continue in from the alleyway that we just picked up that Firefly Pendant. So then you want to continue to be very, very careful in this area because as you can see, there's still guys upstairs and some of which at times can come downstairs too. So you just want to keep your head on the swivel for the most part. Just make sure that no one sneaks up behind you. And you can go ahead and under these stairs here, right on this shelf here, it's going to be another artifact. Once you've collected that, go ahead, again, crouch, be very careful, you know, keep looking around, making sure no one's going to be sneaking up on you. And go ahead and continue to go straight and go ahead and hop through this opening here. And the next artifact is going to be right on this counter. So again, if you go ahead and do what I'm doing and taking the guys out one floor at a time, after you take out the second or the last guy from the second floor, go ahead and proceed towards the cafe area. And that door on the right is going to be another Shiv door. So again, just make sure you have enough Shivs and then just come up to the door, press triangle. Use your Shiv. And there we go. Immediately following opening the Shiv door, there is going to be a collectible in here. So you want to go ahead and proceed to this, I guess, the sink countertop. And this is going to be the artifact that we're coming in here for. So once you've collected the map on top of the countertop from inside the Shiv door, go ahead and head out. And that's what I was going to get to. Just come out and Ellie's going to begin her jokes with her pun book. So just go ahead and hit triangle and just listen into her, the second of Ellie's jokes.
Bakers trade bread recipes on a need-to-know basis. Need.
I get it.
A moon rock tastes better than an earthly rock because it's meatier. Oh man, that made me hungry. A backwards poet writes in verse.
Do you even get that?
Of course not. I used to be addicted to soap, but I'm clean now.
All right, I've actually never heard that one.
All right, I'm done. For now.
Now, once you get to the cutscene where the two guys pull the plank back on top of what it looks like to be, I guess, a bus or something, go ahead and turn back around. Head into this area here because we have a couple things we need to do over here. The first thing is this poster on the wall. Stay relatively close because Ellie's gonna start
That girl is so skinny.
talking about the girl on the poster, and this is gonna trigger another optional conversation. Go ahead and hit triangle and listen in.
I thought you had plenty of food in your time.
Oh, we did. Some just chose not to eat it.
Why the hell not?
For looks.
That's stupid.
You ain't kidding. So now this next part, it's gonna be where Ellie's gonna tell her jokes, but again, this one can take a little bit to trigger. So what I typically do, I just stay like right around here and I just wait for her to pull out her joke book and begin telling her jokes. It may be faster for you, it may not, but again, some of these areas you just have to wait a bit before she actually engages in the conversation.
Okay, it's time to lighten the mood.
There we go. All right, so now when she approaches, as before, hit triangle and we begin joke time.
3.14% of sailors are pirates.
3.14.
I stayed up all night wondering where the sun went. Then it dawned on me.
Oh, I get it.
What did the mermaid wear to her math class?
What?
An algebra.
Terrible.
Why did the scarecrow get a promotion?
All right.
Because he was outstanding in his field.
That'll do. Put that thing away.
Okay, I'm all joked out. Now what?
So after you get all joked out from Ellie's jokes, go ahead and head past the police car and cut in between the truck and the taxi cab here. And the door in the X, that's gonna be another Shiv door. Again, just make sure you have enough. Go ahead and pull out your Shiv. And voila.
There you go.
Bingo.
Now, inside here, there's actually gonna be an artifact. So go ahead and walk inside, and the letter that's right here on this little chair, go ahead and inspect it, and that's your next artifact. Okay, so after you use the plank to assist Ellie to getting on top of the bus, she's gonna set up the plank here. But what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna head inside this trailer here, and we're gonna exit through the back. And because our next collectible is actually gonna be an artifact on the second floor. So let's go ahead and just proceed up the stairs. And the interesting thing about this artifact is that it actually, oh wow, that's a big rat. Anyway, interesting thing about this artifact is that it actually tells you about the Shiv door with the red X. So either which way, I mean, you should be able to find it, but you know, without diving too much into it, just go ahead and pick up the artifact. And as you can see, it does mention the red X. And then if you read it, it'll tell you about the stash with the supplies and weapons and whatnot. So just figured it was interesting to point that one out.
Bet it was nice.
After you drop inside the hotel and Joe and Ellie have a small conversation, which is no relation to an optional conversation, by the way, head on over to the back of the counter because this is actually going to trigger an optional conversation where Joe talks to himself, basically saying how much he misses coffee, and I can honestly relate if I was in his shoes. So just go ahead and hit triangle, and that'll be the next optional conversation.
I really miss coffee.
So after you carry the ladder and position it to get to the next area here in front of the elevators, what you want to do is just go ahead and follow this broken staircase. Shimmy across here. Go up these stairs. And inside this open luggage, you want to go ahead and pick up this artifact. I'll go ahead and turn off the light so it doesn't blind you. Oh, he turns it on anyway, so there's that. But this is actually going to be the safe code. Now, keep this in mind, just like before, you're going to have to enter it manually. So just keep in mind with the safe code, 221056, as the next collectible is going to be the safe anyway. So after you get the artifact and drop down from that second floor, go ahead and make your way around this area, the reception area, from what it looks like. Head to the back. And inside the back room, like I was mentioning, it's the safe. And like I mentioned, the safe code is going to be 22 10 56. There we go. Now, the interesting thing about the safe is there's another training manual inside here. And this one is actually going to be the durability for the shivs. As what it'll do is it'll allow you multiple uses for the shiv without it breaking. It only works though with enemies, clickers, stuff of that nature. It's not going to work on the Shiv Doors, as you still will lose a full Shiv once you use it on the Shiv Doors. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay, so once you've collected everything that you needed from inside the safe, go ahead and head back up the ladder this time. And we're just going to hang out in front of that area because, again, it's going to trigger an Ellie joke, but we have to wait because you know how sometimes it could take a while, but we get lucky and it's automatic this time. So just go ahead, hit triangle, and be ready for another round of Ellie's jokes.
I tried to catch some fog earlier. I missed. Do you know what's not right?
Left?
Yeah. That's awesome. What does a pirate say while eating sushi?
I don't know what.
Ahoy! Pass me some soy. I don't get it. People are making apocalypse jokes like there's no tomorrow. Too soon. That's it. That's all I got.
After you climb up the stairs here to the 3rd floor, it's what it technically is. Go ahead and inside this big area, head down this next hall. So you have a couple ways you can get this next collectible, which is just an optional conversation. So one way of doing it is definitely this way, the long way. And like I said, guys, I always take the guys out just so I can avoid all, you know, any kind of bad person coming up behind me and just sneaking or whatnot. So this is the room you want to come into. And when you come into this room here, you want to go ahead and make a right and stand in front of this tub here with the 2 unfortunate corpses. And Ellie's going to start talking. And then just go ahead and hit triangle. And then that'll trigger the next optional conversation.
Easy. For many, it was better than letting a clicker or a hunter do it for them. Trust me, it ain't easy.
And the other way you can actually get to this area here is from the setup that they have here, and which you can get from here from the 2nd floor. So the way that you get to there is, I'm going to head out to the hall so that way you can see which way it is. So when you start, remember, you come from this area here. So you have a couple ways you can do that. You know, just go head over straight into the next room here. You know, make a left and then head out this door, climb into the window, climb onto the, I guess this little setup under the broken floor or whatnot, and then just come make a left, and then it's right here. So you have multiple ways of getting this optional conversation. I do it the long way because I just want to play it safe. If you feel like you just want to go ahead, just get it over with before proceeding on to the chapter, by all means, go ahead and do so. But this is just the way that I do it, just to play it safe. This next part, you have to be very careful because the next set of infected that's in this area is going to be stalkers. So now, stalkers is just what, excuse me, the stalkers, it's just like how the name is. They are stalking infected. Like they'll actually hide behind cover and whatnot and try to ambush you. So you need to be very careful in this next area, okay? And by picking up this next artifact, you're going to trigger a whole mess of them, including a bloater. So be very careful here and be prepared, as once you get that key card, you're going to be in for a fight. So now what you're going to want to do is head up this ramp here, and there's multiple ways of climbing up. You know, you have stairs here, you know, you got the ramp here, and then you have the ramp over there. So go ahead and head up the ramp or whichever way you choose to go to. And what you want to do is you want to head into the office that has the key card. And I think it's actually the other way. So make your way up to the next floor here and then cut through here. And this is where I showed you where that other ramp was. And then you want to head across. And right here is where the key card is. And again, prepare yourself. Now, word of advice, the bloater's not going to show up until after you turn on the generator. But once you grab this key card, just be prepared for a fight.
So much for that. I gotta find Ellie.
So after you go through the door with the key card, go ahead and proceed up the stairs. The next artifact is actually going to be a workbench. So go ahead and open up the door here, make a left, and the workbench is going to be right here inside what looks to be maybe like a janitor office. But yeah, go ahead, upgrade your gun as you see fit, and we'll go ahead and proceed on. So right after the cutscene where Ellie saves Joel and he gives her a stern talking to, which by the way, I don't agree with how that conversation went. Go ahead and climb up the ladder here. We'll go ahead and proceed down this hall, and immediately on the first door on the left, you want to go ahead and cut through, and you want to just shimmy across, because the next collectible we're going to be getting is going to be another one of Ellie's comics. Yeah, and as you can hear, the tension is, I don't know, time high right now. But anyway, come around to this living area here, and then just go ahead and pick up the comic off of this coffee table. So after you collect the comic, go ahead and proceed to continue on. And after you drop down the broken stairs, go ahead and make a U-turn basically. And you want to head into the second bathroom here. So you want to go into the stall on the left side here, and the Firefly Pendant, it's actually going to be right here on the floor. After you collect the pendant, head back out and go ahead and make a left. As the next collectible that we're getting is going to be another training manual. So go ahead and pick it up right from this table here. And this one is called Knots. So what this is actually going to do is it's actually going to modify your melee weapons and upgrade it to the point where actually it doesn't modify it, but your modifications to your melee weapons are it'll last one hit longer. So once you go ahead and pick that up, go ahead and head over the table, as the next collectible we're gonna get here is gonna be an optional conversation that you have with Ellie. So just stand like right about here and just wait for her to come to the backdrop, and then she'll initiate the conversation.
Wow, look at that.
Just before, just go ahead and hit triangle and they'll begin conversing.
That's a backdrop. People would take their pictures in front of it.
Yeah, I know what it is.
And this is actually multiple conversations, so you just need to keep going.
Okay,
And I believe it's 3
something on your
conversations in this
I
same
wasn't trying to disobey you back there.
conversation.
You were taking a really long time, and I thought maybe he's gotten into trouble.
Look, it don't matter what you thought. I need you to listen to me.
I do. It's just that... Whatever, Joel.
So after the cutscene where Joel shows Ellie how to use the handgun and basically just gives us some basic instructions on, you know, basically handling and emergencies and whatnot, go ahead and head over to the body that was strung up. And what you're going to want to do here is just wait for Ellie to follow you and just stand right around this area here. And then once she sees the strung up body, she'll begin talking and that'll initiate another optional conversation. May have to move around, but inspect the body and that'll actually trigger the conversation.
Whoa, Nelly. Harsh punishment.
Shit ain't that much different than what the military does back in Boston.
I guess not.
Immediately following the conversation, head on over to the far building where the balcony is. And inside here is going to be another artifact, but it's going to be inside a back room. So what you're going to want to do is just head on over, head behind the counter area. And inside here, go ahead and make a 180 turn. And right here on the floor is going to be the next artifact.
Help me open this.
Here.
Okay, so now once you get inside the shutter gate there, go ahead and position a cart right next to the opening. Climb on over. And the next collectible is actually going to be a workbench. So same as before, upgrade your gun how you see fit. And we'll go ahead and proceed on. But I just want to mention though that by upgrading every gun, it is also going to unlock another trophy. So just keep that in mind as you're working on these workbenches and you collect your different guns or whatnot. You'll definitely get a trophy for upgrading every single gun as well. So just want to keep that in mind for you guys.
That was a compliment.
So once you climb upstairs, I eliminated these guys just for the again, like, because they were just in a way. You can actually let them pass, but sometimes that second guy here would actually spot you if you hide in that little crevice over there. So just make it easier on yourself and just take them out. But anyway, come inside this office here and you want to look for the desk on the far right, and on the floor here is going to be the next artifact. So once you make it back down to street level, you're going to end up dropping down on that truck and just heading down this street here. And then what you're going to want to do is you want to head into this building. I'm just going to go ahead and just run through, only because I already took the guys out in this area just to make things a lot easier. So go ahead and head up these stairs. And you want to enter the next room, this entryway. And then proceed down this hall past the broken wall. Inside this room, which looks to be like a reception area, the artifact is going to be right behind the chair. After you collect that artifact, turn back around, head through this door, head down the stairs, and then we're going to turn around again, and we're just going to exit the building. Now, this next area where we're proceeding to, it has a couple things that we can do. So we're going to go ahead, and this building is where we want to head into next. And so the artifact that we're needing to collect is going to be right on the table. Once you've collected that artifact, go ahead, head into this room. And we're going to go ahead and open up this Shiv door. And just like I've been mentioning, just make sure you have enough Shivs in your inventory.
There you go.
So once you've given Ellie a boost, go ahead and climb up the ladder. And once we get onto this catwalk here, we want to turn around, drop on that truck.
We're almost there.
And they're going to be taking a quick peek at the bridge, which looks to be a lot closer than it was previously. So continue heading down the truck. And the next collectible is going to be a optional conversation. Just head in front of the preparatory school here and wait for Ellie to show up. And then they'll begin
I stayed at a place
conversing.
Back in the Boston.
Just like before, head towards Ellie, wait till the triangle prop comes up, and go ahead.
Military preparatory school.
Yeah, nice way of saying orphanage. I wonder what happened to all these kids.
Well, this place has been out for a good stretch. They ain't kids no more.
Meaning they're either hunters trying to kill us, or they're dead.
Or they got away.
But you don't believe that.
I believe in getting out of this city. Come on.
Once they finish having their conversation, we want to make an about face and head towards that poster, the movie poster on the building. So let's just wrap around here. This is actually going to trigger another optional conversation. So just head on over, wait for Ellie to show up.
Hey, there's
And as before, once the prop shows up, just go ahead, hit that triangle button, and they're going to discuss this movie poster here.
I saw this right before the outbreak.
You did? Does he totally gut her by the end?
Nobody gets gutted. It's a dumb teen movie.
Who dragged you to see it then?
I don't know. Let's just stay focused, all right?
All right. Don't worry.
But once you meet Henry and Sam inside this bedroom here, what you want to do is exit out the bedroom, and instead of following Henry straight away, head over to this counter, and this is actually going to be another training manual. And what this one is going to do is going to expand the blast radius about 1.5 wider than what it normally does, I believe, for the Molotov cocktail. Once you picked up the training manual, go ahead and head back out where Henry was. And you just want to go ahead and keep following him.
This is just you and your daughter.
So go ahead and follow Henry down the stairs. And we want to go ahead and instead of following him down the flight of stairs again, we want to head straight away into the Shiv door. And like I always mention, just make sure you have enough Shivs in your inventory. That way we can go ahead and get the Shiv door open.
There you go.
Bingo.
Once the door is open, go ahead inside, and you want to head into the bedroom on the right side. And we want to go ahead and head to the computer desk, as the comic is going to be sitting right on top of the desk.
I bet Ellie'd like this.
Once you've dispatched the two guys on the roof here, go ahead and keep following Henry. Go ahead and cross the plank.
Sure
Don't follow him just yet. You want to go ahead and enter this bathroom. And on the toilet here is going to be your next Firefly pendant.
Back here.
Once you've collected that pendant, now we can go ahead and keep following Henry and everyone else inside the office area. And so you want to go ahead and pass the two kids and head into the conference room. And right here on the floor is going to be our final collectible and artifact for the chapter. Let's go ahead and pick it up. And that's going to be all she wrote. Guys, I want to thank you so much for having extreme patience with me. I know this was a monster of a chapter. And in my personal opinion, I really feel like Pittsburgh is the longest chapter of any of the chapters in the entire game. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And I want to thank you guys for your continued support, for, just bearing with me. I know this one was a long one, so I'll try to keep it shorter next time. But unfortunately, because this is such a long chapter, it did run longer than what I anticipated. So with that being said, guys, thank you again for everything. And guys, if you can, I really would like if you can subscribe to the channel, like this video, as it will help me, with the YouTube algorithm as well. So guys, like I said, I'm going to end it here, and I will see you guys in the suburbs, which will be the next chapter. And as always, stay sharp, my friends.